Welcome to my latest Jigsaw Journey. In this video, I will show you the highlights from my assembly of this 500-piece Ravensburger jigsaw named Circle of Colors Poke Bowl. I bought this puzzle because it was my favorite of those featured at the World Jigsaw Puzzle Championships, WJPC 2023. I think it will be fun to see how my puzzling speed compares with that of top competitors. I will present this journey a little differently. I will show images that show my progress every 30 minutes. I will also show screenshots from the YouTube stream of WJPC Semi-Final 1, and I have shared links to the stream and to the competition results in the video description. I use the same approach as most of the competitors, that is, doing a rough sort by color and to pull out the edge pieces, then starting in the center and working my way outwards. I view this as clearly the best approach for me. This common approach will also make it easier for me to compare my progress with theirs. I will also use these comparisons to make forecasts of my completion time. I should just say that I am not interested in competing myself, I am doing this for my own enjoyment and personal growth. Let's begin by looking at the top 10 results from WJPC. We see that the fastest time was 45 minutes and 22 seconds by Kristin Thove. As you can see, the top 10 competitors all finished within 8 minutes of Kristin. This image shows my progress after 30 minutes. I estimate that I spent roughly 15 minutes doing a rough sort, and then 15 minutes connecting some pieces. This is my first time doing a circular puzzle. Although I have previously done the Ravensburger Crypt Gradient puzzle, which has a similar circular arrangement in the central part of the puzzle. This image shows Kristin Thove's progress at 8 minutes and 22 seconds. She seems to have done a little more than me, so she has been about 4 times faster so far. If my speed ratio relative to Kristin would remain constant from now onwards, my completion time would be 3 hours and 1 minute. This image shows my puzzle status after 1 hour. I have been finding it a little easier than I had been expecting. Almost all of the red and purple color is in this central part, so I have been able to focus on those colors. Andrea Peng finished 4th with the time 49 minutes and 22 seconds, so she has used exactly 1/3 of her total time in this screenshot. We see that she is about 5% ahead of where I am after 1 hour. If my speed ratio relative to Andrea remains constant from now onwards, I will finish in 3.15 hours. That is 3 hours and 9 minutes. This image shows my progress after 1 hour and 30 minutes. This third session was much harder for me than the previous two. I found it harder to recognize and distinguish between all the oranges and yellows. Moreover, the curvature of the pieces is much less noticeable now. Now, at 22 minutes and 29 seconds, Andrea is roughly where I am after 90 minutes. Based on this, my completion time forecast is 3 hours and 18 minutes. This is my status at 2 hours. This fourth session has felt just as challenging as the previous one. I am also getting more and more tired. Earlier, I was standing up for some of the time, but I no longer have the energy for this. I don't usually complete a puzzle in a single sitting, so this is now feeling like an endurance test. Andrea, who is in the top left window, is at 32 minutes roughly where I was after 2 hours. Based on this, my completion time forecast is 3 hours and 5 minutes. This is my status at 2.5 hours. This fifth session has been just as challenging as the previous two, although I am thinking that it will take me less than 1 hour to finish it now. Kristin is at 33 minutes and 35 seconds roughly where I was after 2.5 hours. Based on this, my completion time forecast is 3 hours and 23 minutes. Now, at 3 hours, I have almost finished. I only have 27 edge pieces remaining. Let's see how fast I can connect these now. Wow! It only took me 3 minutes to do the last 27 pieces. My completion time was 3 hours and 3 minutes, which is roughly 4 times as long as Kristin took. My forecasts have turned out quite well. All I need to do is get 4 times faster. Jokes aside, I really enjoyed doing this puzzle and making these speed comparisons and forecasts. The puzzle was higher quality than a normal Ravensburger puzzle. In particular, it had interesting and varied piece shapes, and also a good large poster showing the target image, although I chose not to look at this today because I did not see anyone doing so at WJPC. I will do the same puzzle again under the same conditions tomorrow and compare my puzzle status for day 1 versus day 2. My forecast is that I will take 15 minutes less time on day 2 than on day 1. Let's see how it goes. This slide shows my puzzle status after 30 minutes on day 1 versus day 2. Day 1 is on the left-hand side. We see that I was clearly faster on day 2 so far. Now we see day 1 versus day 2 at 1 hour. On day 2 I am still clearly ahead. Don't be fooled by the fact that the first image is more zoomed in. Here is the same comparison but at 1.5 hours. We see that day 2 has pulled much further ahead during this third period. We see again that I am clearly ahead at 2 hours on day 2 also. In fact, I completed the puzzle in 2 hours and 32 minutes on day 2. This was 31 minutes faster than on day 1. This was a bigger difference than I had expected. This journey was a little different to my earlier ones. Did you like it? If you did, please like, share, subscribe, and comment.